For Debra, strength extends beyond her own medical battles. This interview unfolds two stories, one of her daughter's and the other her own.
My daughter was diagnosed at the age of 16, and we didn't know what Chiari was, like many others, until we went and tried to seek medical attention because uh, she had so many symptoms, and before we even knew about the website or anything like that, we had no idea about any of it. So we went for medical advice here in Morgantown, and um, we didn't have good luck here. So I had to research for a little bit, and that took some time, more time than I actually uh, wanted, because I was getting frustrated with it. I was trying to get her help, and seemed like we were getting pushed away. We went to Pittsburgh, and we found a doctor there who was well versed in Chiari, and was kind of appalled that they weren't going to do surgery here when we visited here, because her tonsil herniation was extended so far. We were told here that it was just an incidental finding, and just to take medicine for the headaches or whatever and see a neurologist. And I wasn't good with that because I'm a cancer patient myself. So uh, I'm not big on taking medicines. When we came back to Morgantown, I got another referral from a really good friend of mine for Dr. Bales, who was here in WVU. He was actually the chair of neurosurgery. And so I called him, and he says, "Well, why don't you come and see me?" And I said, "We did that." And I said, "With one of your doctors, one of your neurosurgeons." And he said, "Really?" And I told him who it was. And he said, "Oh, no, this is not going to happen." He said, "I want you to come back." He said, "I'll take care of it." And I said, "Well, I'll come back as long as, we don't have any awkwardness, because I don't want my daughter getting stressed out about something she doesn't need to stress about." I said, "She's already in enough pain, and enough aggravated enough over the whole situation. We just want to get her some help and make her feel better." I told Dr. Bales the only way we'll do it here in Morgantown is if he assisted Dr. Collins with the surgery. And he agreed that he would, and we agreed to do it here. So, back and forth a little bit between here and Pittsburgh, but we ultimately had it done here at WVU Medicine with Dr. Bales. And they did a great job. I mean, she's, she has some symptoms. She's, got some, sometimes she has some numbness in her hands. She does have quite a few headaches in the back of her head, still, I wouldn't say, daily, but weekly, probably 1 or 2 a week, maybe. I'm pretty proud of her overall. I have 3 grandkids. She just adopted one. She works from home as a medical coder. She's doing great.
Organizing walks for the past 11 years, Deborah describes her initial walk memory, reflecting on the progress made and the collective experiences that have shaped the journey forward.
We did it outside our very first year. We only had like maybe 30 or 40 people. And but we got rained on. We had just a little bit of indoor space on the track, and it just wasn't enough, and we didn't have windows in it or anything, so we got it just poured. It messed up our paperwork. I mean, we managed to get through it, but it was rough. And I'll never do it outside again. So I will never do that ever again. So, but we've come a long way, and now we use a venue here at Morgantown that's donated to us, and we can only seat about 300 people, which is usually about the max that we'll end up getting close to anyways. So it works out well. If we ever got bigger than that, I'd have to go somewhere else. But the venue is really nice, and it's right in town here, and we can walk down the street, and our walkers like the attention of doing that. So it just the Chiari Walk facilitates local awareness. It's a starting point for involvement, with change, and it just brings everybody together. It builds community spirit. It brings people from all walks of life together, and then the people bond together, and that's what it's about. It's a fun walk, but it's a learning experience. It's a reward. I mean, I usually have 10 or 12 speakers, and probably half of my speakers are children that have been coming for 11 years. So, I mean, they started out around 4 years old speaking and telling their stories, and now they're almost, 17, 18 years old. It's crazy to see how these kids have grown up, and to listen to their stories and about what they can and cannot do, because I know my daughter had to quit doing some of the things that she wanted to do. Um, But it just brings people together and they build connections and they realize their potential to give back at the same time.
In conclusion, Debra emphasizes the importance of understanding, supporting, and caring for others, while also stressing the significance of never giving up.
And with people with illnesses like mine and my daughter's, we welcome having a good support system. We welcome the support from others. And I think that's what it's about. If I were to give personal advice to a Chiari fighter or anybody fighting any battle, I would always say never give up.